represent complex numbers in polar form. Polar form can also be called modulus argument form. So the question before us is expressed in polar form or modulus argument form. Z equals to -1 minus root of 3j. So in polar form, the formula is Z is the same as the modulus of Z times cos of angle theta plus j sine of angle theta, whereby this is Z modulus, theta is the argument. So we must find the modulus of Z and then the argument, then we come and substitute. So here where theta equals to argument of Z. So let's go and look for modulus first. Modulus of Z states that the square root, we should add the square root of x square plus y square, where x is the imaginary number, x is the real number, y is the imaginary number. So the real number here, we have -1, the imaginary number is -root of 3. So we shall have -1 squared plus -root of 3 squared. Finally, we shall have 1 plus 3. Here we shall have root of 4, which is the same as plus or minus 2. We have got the modulus. Then the argument of Z, or theta, we find using the formula tan inverse of y out of x. So y here is -root of 3, x is -1. So we shall have tan inverse of -root of 3 divided by -1. We shall have tan inverse, our theta will be tan inverse of root of 3. So let's check from the calculator the tan inverse of root of 3. Tan inverse root of 3, we get 60. But if we try to sketch this complex number, let's try to sketch, then we see on an Argand diagram, this is imaginary, this is real. We have -1 and -root of 3. -1 is here, then -root of 3 is here. When we plot this, so you can see where it is. So the graph is below, it is below the real axis. If it is below, it means that angle theta must be negative. And the 60 that we have got is this angle here. But what we want is this one. So we must subtract 180 minus 60. Since it is below, then we are supposed to include minus. So finally, our theta will be -120 degree. So when we bring that formula, represent it in Argand diagram, in polar form, which says modulus of Z times cos of theta plus j sine of theta, you will find that our theta will be negative 20. So we shall have z equals to the modulus of z, which is plus or minus 2 times cos of negative 120 plus j sine of negative 120. With the sine and cos, when you see a negative angle, the negative vanishes, it gives us a positive answer. So we shall have plus or minus 2 cos of 120, then sine this negative 120, the negative will come and neutralize this positive to be negative, minus j sine 120. So we can put this 120 in radiant. When we convert it to radiant, we shall have plus or minus 2 cos 120 divided by 180 times pi minus j sine 120 pi divided by 180. 120 cancels by 2, 180 by 3. That is when dividing by 60, 62, 63. So finally, in polar form, our z can be represented as plus or minus 2 cos 2 over 3 pi minus j sine 2 over 3 pi. This is the answer. Thank you for watching.